So you've finished your HTML packet and you know that you can write and edit some of the basic HTML codes. There's a program, actually there's several programs, but the one we're going to use, Dreamweaver, actually will write the code for you. Now you may ask, well, why do we learn HTML first if Dreamweaver is going to write the code for us anyway? Well, that's a good question. And the reason we have to learn the basic codes first is because Dreamweaver, as well as other web editors, are not perfect. And so you sometimes have to go in and tweak the code. And so obviously you have to understand what all the codes are in order to do that. So open Schools and find your HTML intro folder. Remember that mine's on my desktop because I don't have a folder in Schools. Yours should be in Schools. What I want you to do is to make a copy of it. And so if you select it, you can Command C to copy, Command V to paste. And now you have a second one. To rename it, click it once to select it, click it a second time, and you can edit it. This time, it will be called period number underscore last name underscore DW for Dreamweaver intro. Remember that all folder names and file names with HTML and with websites should be lowercase, no spaces, all of them. All right, now each time you start a website, you have to do what's called define your site. And basically what that involves is it involves you creating a folder, much like we just did, where you're going to save all of your files for that website. You can't save them all over the place. They have to be in one location because when it comes time to upload it to the server, they need to be organized into a folder. The other reason they have to be in a folder is because the code, when you create links and images and whatever, the code creates a path. And so the path is determined by where all the files are located. And if they're located in the folder, they're going to stay the same no matter where you move the folder. But if you have stuff in the folder and then in a different folder and then on a hard drive and then in a server, it's not going to know how to find them when you upload it to a website. Okay? So now that you have your folder created for the Dreamweaver intro, we need to open Finder, go to Applications, and up towards the top of our list, we'll find Adobe Dreamweaver. It's the green icon. Since you're going to use this a few times, you might want to go ahead after you open that folder, go ahead and drag it and drop it down on your dock. I realize you can't see my dock at the moment, but it is right there now. And then go ahead and open it. Now, along with creating the folder, the next part of defining your site in Dreamweaver actually involves a piece of technology in here, which we're... All right, now, when you open Dreamweaver, the first thing that you're probably going to notice is the welcome screen. And Adobe does this with many of its products. On the left-hand side, you'll see files of things that you've created or opened recently. And right now, you're not going to have anything there because you haven't opened anything. In the middle is all of the create new stuff. And then on the right are videos that help you work with different parts of Dreamweaver. So what we have to do is we have to create a new Dreamweaver site. This is part of the defining of the site that I was mentioning. Click on that. And the first thing that it says is it wants to name our site. Now, this name is really kind of up to you, and no one else should see it on your computer other than you. So the people that sit there later in the day, you don't have to worry about them. So what I like to do is I like to name it something that's an easy description, because as you build and build more websites, there's this drop-down menu here in the Files panel. It lets you navigate to all your old websites based on this name. So I'm just going to call it Dreamweaver Intro. Now, because this is simply a name, a description, it doesn't matter whether I have it uppercase, lowercase, and it's okay with spaces here as well. Now, right here, it's asking for the HTTP address. That's the URL, such as the sfmstechapps.org. Well, we don't actually have our site on a server anywhere, so we can leave this blank and then click Next. The next question asks how we want to use server technologies. Well, right now, we're still working with basic HTML, so no, we don't want to use a server technology. Click Next. Then it says, how do you want to work with your files during development? Now, again, we are not having this on a server at the moment, so we don't even need to worry about this. We're going to keep it at the recommended, which is to edit the local copies on the machine. And then when you are ready to upload to a server, you can do it then. Okay? So keep that first one. This next part is important though. This is, where do you want this to store your files on your computer? So you have to click on the folder, and once you click on the folder, you'll get a pop-up that is going to allow you to navigate to your folder in schools. Again, your folder is in schools. My folder is not. Okay? So navigate to that folder. Remember, the folder that you're going to select is called period number underscore your last name underscore DW for Dreamweaver underscore intro. Once you click and select that, you can come down here and hit the choose button. And then here you should see the path that it takes to locate your folder. And again, your path is going to look a little bit different than mine because mine is not in schools, but yours is. I'm going to click Next. And here it's asking about more server information. Again, we're not going to use a server, so we can choose none. But these other things here are simply methods in which you can upload files to a server. Click None. Then you can click Next, where Dreamweaver will give you a summary of your site definition, and then you can click Done. Now, once you click Done, you should notice over here in your Files panel a couple of things. Number one, notice right here, this should say DW Intro, or whatever you named the site there at the beginning of the site definition. Then, under here, see where it says Local Files? You're going to see your folder here that says Site DW Intro. If you click on the arrow, you can collapse and expand the folder so that you can see everything inside of it. And at this point, you should see the 14 exercises that you created with your HTML intro. Each time you create a website, you are going to have to go through this. It is very important. So make sure that you take note of it. Maybe put it in your Evernote. Maybe you want to bookmark the video so that you can go back to it until you remember how to do it.